I had a great conversation with a colleague the other day. We were talking about uh, why we think people who feel pretty settled in their lives decide to maybe go out, and when they're looking on the internet about for something to read, they pick something along the area of peak performance or personal development, the kind of work that I do with my clients, and or they decide to take now the internet has a plethora of workshops you can take to work on yourself or to make your life a little bit more comfortable. Also to the uh, greater commitment for people who decide to hire someone like me to work with them to help them have a bigger life. And so I want to tell you my take on it. That really what it comes down to is for the people who feel like they're good, there's really nothing wrong in their life, the ones that decide to buy that book, take the workshop, or hire a coach, and the people that don't, the first group ends up having a life which I could say like my life, where they're up to creating more. They're able to really tap into their purpose and create something much bigger than they thought ever possible. But this is the key. This is the difference between the first group and the second group. The first group, the people that decide to ask a little bit more themselves, is that they are able to create more, to feel a greater sense of what they're going to create in the world, in their relationships, their careers, their families. They also do it in a way that leaves them feeling calmer and easier than before they decided to take a close look at their lives. And that's why I think it's so special, and that's what I don't see people talking about a lot. And that's why I think about you even checking in and looking at this video clip based on what the title or the key tag had you thinking along the same lines. And why would this be so important? Why would I spend so much time and energy on this? And it's just that. Why wouldn't you want to feel a greater sense of calm and peace, like almost that life is easier, while also being able to do so much more than you ever thought possible? So that was my take on it, which was very cool. So then we went on, we were talking about, so what happens when you get to that point? What is the key ingredient? What's the core piece that I could see across everybody that I've worked with, and colleagues as well, peers in this field? What is really the magic piece to it? And I believe that it's people who've been able to laser focus on what works for them, to customize the core principles, the distinctions that are very common in the area of personal development, but they know themselves really well. So that's where, when you talk about the decision to read or take a workshop where it's not interactive, but you're learning as the speaker is giving you knowledge, and people who hire someone personally, or they have someone in their lives that they feel really comfortable is able to help them look at what they're doing that's working, what's not, that's the key piece. So I want to leave you with that. And also, a wonderful phrase that I find it really is a touch point for me is to, when I talk about doing what works, I want to credit my business mentor, Mastin Kipp. If you're not aware of him, you can find him everywhere on the internet. Particularly check out his book, Claim Your Power, because Mastin helped me to realize that one of the things that was missing for me was to look at what is the thing that sustains me, what will help me sustain results. It's one thing to work for a brief period of time where you were able to create something larger and get a project going. It's a different thing when you look at sustaining it in a way that supports you. And so that is my acknowledgement of him, Mastin. It's really him laser focusing with people and talking about figuring out what works for you and doing it on a regular basis. I want to give you an example of this so it makes it really crystal clear for you. When you look at your life, and I encourage you to do a poke around, look at all the areas in your life and do a really honest evaluation of where you feel like you are really comfortable, it's working, but also areas where you can feel it, and pay attention when you do this. Pay attention, you're going to feel it probably here in your gut, or you're going to feel it in your heart. Like, I'm really, really not creating as much as I know I could. Those are the areas I want you to take a very, very close look at and put a pinhole in those, push pin, whatever they call it, Go back to the areas where you're feeling pretty comfortable and confident. And I want you to take a very close look. You may have to write this down and write down very specifically what you do that sets you up for that to be something that is just natural for you. Then I want you to go back to the areas where you're feeling like there could be more going on for you and there isn't. And those are the areas where you are really, really going to want to look at what am I doing that supports that, sustains it, and what's not working for me. And that's the key. When I talked about that first group of people, that's the key to success for them. They know very clearly what they do on a regular basis that supports them, sets them up to win. And that's why they have the life that they experience with greater ease and calm, because they set it up regularly that they're going to do that. It becomes a part of their life. Any questions about this? Pop it down in the comment section. And what I would offer to you, what I said a few minutes ago, is figure out what works for you. Trust me, this is really important.